Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video from our channel. In this video, we'll be highlighting American celebrities who have passed away today and in the last few days, along with other notable figures from around the world. Before we proceed, we kindly ask you to show your love and support by giving this video a like. It means a lot to us. Thank you. Some days fade away unnoticed. But July 3rd. This date hits like a thunderclap through the decades. It's not just the day before fireworks, not just the eve of America's independence. It's the day legends fell. From a poetic rock star found mysteriously dead in Paris to a beloved TV sheriff whose voice once calmed a nation. July 3rd has become a strangely fateful date in pop culture history. And that's not even counting the eerie coincidences that link some of these stories together. Why do so many iconic figures exit on this exact day? Let's dig deeper into the lives, the mysteries, and the legacies of 5 unforgettable icons who all died on July 3rd. Stay with me. Some of these stories might just change how you see fame, mortality, and history itself. And as we go, tell me in the comments, which of these stories hits you hardest? Which of these legends still lives on in your mind? Number 5. Jim Morrison, the Lizard King's final whisper. Let's start with the one that still echoes through the smoky haze of rock history. Jim Morrison. He wasn't just a singer. He was a prophet in leather pants, a rebel poet, a voice that dared America to question everything. Lead singer of The Doors, Jim embodied the raw chaos of the late 60s. Songs like Break On Through, The End, and People Are Strange weren't just music. They were mantras for a restless generation. But on July 3, 1971, in Paris, Morrison was found lifeless in a bathtub. Age? Just 27. Official cause of death? Heart failure. But no autopsy was ever performed. No official investigation, no clear closure. Naturally, the rumors began. Was it a heroin overdose? A cover-up? A staged death? Some conspiracy theorists even claim Jim faked his death and disappeared. One version says he moved to New York. Another, more bizarre one, says he became a cowboy poet in Oregon. And here's the strange twist. His girlfriend Pamela Corson, who found his body, died just 3 years later, also at age 27. Together, they're now part of the infamous 27 Club, a tragic collection of young, brilliant artists who died at that same cursed age. What is it about 27? Coincidence? Or is there something about fame, drugs, and pressure that explodes right around that age? Jim's grave in Paris now draws thousands every year, covered in graffiti, notes, candles. What's your favorite Doors track? Riders on the Storm? LA Woman? Hypothetical scene. Imagine if Jim had lived into the MTV era. What kind of music videos would he have made? Psychedelic art films? Spoken word rants with tribal drums? Sometimes, early death freezes fame in amber. And Morrison? He's still glowing. Number 4. Andy Griffith, the heartbeat of Mayberry. Now let's swing the emotional pendulum to a softer place. On July 3, 2012, America lost its moral compass. Andy Griffith. While Jim Morrison challenged the system, Andy Griffith reminded us of decency, of calm, of small-town warmth that felt timeless. As Sheriff Andy Taylor in The Andy Griffith Show, he offered a slice of life that comforted Americans during the stormy 1960s. Think about it. In a time of assassinations, war, and civil unrest, here was this gentle man playing guitar on a porch, solving problems with wisdom, never violence. Andy died at age 86 from a heart attack at his home in coastal North Carolina. But he left behind decades of laughter and lessons. And did you know? Andy wasn't just an actor. He had serious musical chops. He released multiple gospel albums and frequently sang on the show. Here's a gem. One of his gospel albums, I Love to Tell the Story, actually topped the Billboard charts in 1996, at age 70, and yet, Andy was also fiercely private. In fact, he was buried just 5 hours after his death. No public funeral, no media circus. That tells you a lot. He was famous, but never fame-obsessed. What's your favorite moment from the Andy Griffith Show? The pickle episode? Opie and the slingshot? Let's relive it in the comments. If Morrison was the storm, Andy was the eye of it. Number 3. Brian Jones, the forgotten Rolling Stone. Now here's where things get haunting. Another member of the 27 Club. Another July 3rd. Brian Jones, the original founder of the Rolling Stones, died on July 3, 1969, just 2 years before Morrison. Found floating in his swimming pool. No signs of struggle, no concrete answers. Like Jim, he was 27. Some eyewitnesses claimed they saw bruising. Others believe his death was covered up to protect people in his circle. A murder investigation was reopened in 2009, decades after his death. But still, no resolution. Here's what's tragic. Brian was a musical genius. He could play over 20 instruments, from the sitar to the marimba. He added the haunting recorder to Ruby Tuesday, the dulcimer to Lady Jane, and even the mellotron on 2,000 Light Years from Home. But by 1968, his drug use and internal band conflicts led to his expulsion from the very band he created, just a few weeks before his death. Imagine founding a global phenomenon, only to be ousted from it. That's Shakespearean. Do you think Brian was the true heart of the Stones? Or did the band really find its soul with Jagger and Richards? Some say his spirit still haunts Cotchford Farm, the property he died at, which once belonged to Winnie the Pooh author A. Milne. Pooh Bear and rock tragedy. Only in Britain, right? July 3rd is beginning to feel cursed. Number 2. Rudy Vallee, America's first pop star before Elvis, before Sinatra. There was Rudy Vallee. Born in 1901, Rudy became America's first radio star, a crooner whose soft tenor voice drove flappers wild in the jazz age. And yes, Rudy sang the now legendary As Time Goes By, long before Casablanca made it immortal. Have you ever heard Rudy's version? Pull it up after this video. It's like opening a time capsule to the 1930s. In a world before social media, before reality TV, Rudy was already famous for being famous, and for being genuinely talented. Another American chapter ending on July 3rd. Number 1. Don Drysdale, the fearless Dodger. And now, from stages to stadiums. On July 3, 1993, baseball lost a warrior, Don Drysdale. A 6'5" right-hander with a fastball that looked like a bullet train. Drysdale pitched for the Los Angeles Dodgers from 1956 to 1969 and was known as one of the most intimidating forces on the mound. In fact, he once hit 154 batters in his career. On purpose? Some say yes. He believed in protecting his teammates. In 1968, he set a record with 58 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings, a record only broken by Orel Hershiser 20 years later. After retiring, Don became a broadcaster, bringing his tough yet wise voice to fans across the country. On July 3rd, while on assignment, he was found dead in a hotel room. Heart attack. Only 56 years old. Dodgers fans, where do you rank Drysdale in the all-time greats list? Top 5? Top 10? He was old-school grit in an age before analytics, before pitch counts. And he still missed. Others worth remembering. While these 5 stand out, July 3rd also marked the end for many innovators. Joel Chandler Harris, author of the Uncle Remus stories, passed on July 3, 1908. His work remains controversial, yet historically significant. Jacob Schick, inventor of the electric razor, died on this date in 1937. Think of how many mornings he revolutionized. Even in quieter fields, July 3rd remains a turning point. Why July 3rd? Coincidence or something else? So what gives? Why do so many iconic figures leave us on July 3rd? Maybe it's just coincidence. Maybe it's the weight of summer reflection, when old age meets hot days and fragile health. But here's something wild. July 3, 1863, the day the Battle of Gettysburg ended. A turning point in the Civil War. Blood, change, legacy. Could there be something symbolic, poetic even, about this date? A historical echo? Or just eerie coincidence? Reflection and tribute. From Morrison's howl to Griffith's hum, from Drysdale's fire to Rudy's croon, July 3 seems to gather souls that shaped us. These weren't just celebrities, they were architects of American emotion, our fears, our hopes, our soundtrack. When they left, they didn't vanish. They became legends. So now I ask you, which legacy hits you the hardest? Which of these stories stayed with you the longest? If these stories moved you, if you learned something new, hit that like button, not for me but for them. Tap subscribe to stay connected to the stories behind the names, the mysteries behind the headlines. And comment below. Share your thoughts, your memories, your favorite songs, episodes or games. Because remembrance is powerful. Until next time, let's keep honoring those who shaped our world, one name, one date, one story at a time. Thanks for watching.